All right, time to do the rear. I'm gonna do pretty much the same thing. I'm gonna loosen up these lugs, lift the tire off, put a jack underneath the axle, and that gives me room to work. And then I will start loosening things up and we'll go from there. I'm just gonna remove this upper link because we're leaving these on, so there's no need to remove the bottom and the top. So the bottom is loose. I don't know if you can see that. The bottom is loose, but the top is just removed, so that's all we need to do. Put my nut on so I don't lose it. And I need to remove this bracket here. All right, that frees that up. I've got this cable right here, which I need to that guy there. Want to loosen up that bad boy there. If I believe right, that's 22. Yep. This needs to come completely off. That's free. Emergency brake bracket way up here. That's loose, and now we've got to undo this breather. Get that off of there, and I think we're ready to start lifting. I'm just lifting it high enough that I can easily. So problem is that my jack stand is in the way. So solution to the problem is another quick jack. You want to lift it enough where I can move that jack stand just a smidge. Get that out of there. All right. All right, that's free. That's free. I do want to loosen up these guys. Okay. Now I should be able to lift it until the spring comes out. Jack stand for safety. Okay. So now that that's out, I need to get this piece out right there. This goes on there, and then this is going to go up where that was, but we need to grease this. This is just a white lithium grease I have laying around for my RC stuff. Should be fine. The type of grease isn't super important as long as it's rubber friendly. This needs to go up into here. And it's going to have to get pressed up into there. So how do we do that? Well, we use a trick others have used, and that is a block. Okay, got it set up. Now I'm going to lower this a little. And there we go. It's up in there. That's what we want to see. Now I can take this, get it up in there, and looks like I need to lift just a smidge higher. There we go. Now I can lower a bit. Perfect. And now we'll lower that the rest of the way. All right. There we go. All right, that's that. Now I got to get this to where it'll line up. That. Okay. Well, here's the driver's side rear, all complete and ready for the tire. And then I will move on to the other side. I'm not going to show you anything specific on that unless I see anything that's different. And then after that, we'll go in and retorque all of the parts that are left untorqued right now. So, almost done. All right, this is the final wheel, or the final side, I guess, and it is complete. Nothing really notable from this side, other than I learned my lesson on where to place the jack stand, so that it's further away, so that it doesn't interfere with that shock bolt like it did on the first time. Outside of that, everything was as expected, went very smoothly. Just make sure to go through and retorque everything that needs to be torqued. Again, control arms are getting ready to come here in a minute after I shake the Jeep on its wheels and get everything settled. And make sure you put up you know, all the brake lines and breather tubes and all that good stuff. So anyway, I'm going to put this tire on and then we'll see how it looks. Well, gang, I'm done. This is it with the leveling kit. It looks pretty sweet if you ask me. I'll get some pictures when it's daylight. It's just now getting dark, the sun's going down. I think the wheel spacers made as much of an improvement as the little bit of leveling. I'm glad I did both. I'm glad I did both at the same time. The only two parts from factory that I removed and I'm going to keep are these here, the front links. But outside of that, I had no leftover parts, so that's always a good thing. So now what I'm going to do is, I've got some of those connections that are loosened up so that I can retorque them. What I want to do is kind of settle things in a little bit. So while it's on this level surface, I'm just going to shake it up. Get it all settled in. And then now I'll go down and torque all of those arms. Dude, I'm done. I'm beat. It's hard work, especially doing it by myself. Although I did enlist my 13-year-old son to help me hold the other side of a nut and bolt combination. The hardest part of this whole thing, and I had heard somebody else say this, and it's true, is retorquing all those control arms. 125 foot-pounds is no joke laying on your back underneath the vehicle. I got creative and ended up using a jack to help me push the torque wrench. I'll show you how that looked. There we go. That probably took a large majority of the time. Was it necessary? Debatable. I know on the Teraflex video they don't do that. Is it a good idea? It can't hurt. Is it necessary for a 2-inch lift? Probably not. Am I glad that I did it? Yeah. Do I wish I didn't? Yeah. You know, the jury's still out, but I did it. And I got them all retorqued down, so that's that. I'm going to grease those Zerks on the front links, and I'm ready for work in the morning. So it's 10 o'clock at night. I probably have a total of about 6 hours, but probably only about 4 actual work hours. So if I just like hit it and didn't stop, I probably did it in 4 hours. I'm not going to pretend like I did it any quicker than that, but like I said, a large majority of that was spent retorquing all that stuff. So if I left that out, I probably could have been done in 3, maybe 2.5. So it was actually quite easy. Lifting it up a quarter at a time is the way to go. You saw how easy those springs came out and went back in. Because you can really tweak that axle, actually leave the axle and tweak the suspension as opposed to dropping the entire axle. I think it just gives you so much more room. So anyway, I'm really happy with the way I chose to do it. Yeah, it's done. So it's the day after I did the leveling kit and the spacer install. I put more than 50 miles on the Jeep today, so what I wanted to do was go through and check the torque on every single nut and bolt I touched yesterday. So I did that. As a matter of fact, the spacer install, for example, recommends pulling and checking the torque and making sure after 50 miles that's all good. So anyway, I went through the entire thing. The other good thing is it makes sure that I didn't miss anything the day before. I was pretty methodical. I felt like I had it all. I double checked, triple checked, but I get down there today and just make sure that every single bolt is at the torque I expect it to be. That eliminates errors of me missing one entirely. Not likely. More likely is eliminates errors of me incorrectly torquing. Let's say I'm thinking 125 and it's supposed to be 75 or vice versa. So this was a good opportunity to go through and just recheck every single one of those, and everything's good. So I consider this project done. The only thing left I have to do, which I haven't done yet, is I need to readjust the headlights, because now my front end is pointing upwards a little bit more, so my headlights are going to be higher. So I want to make sure I adjust those. I'm not going to do it now. It's raining outside, and quite frankly, I just don't want to do it right now, but I will do that. That's it. I showed you a lot. I'm sorry if this was a long video. There might be somebody who needs to see that kind of detail, so that's for you. If you didn't need to see the detail and you're bored by watching somebody work on a vehicle, sorry, it's a long video. Matter of fact, you're probably not even watching this now because this is at the end and you've quit watching by now. So anyway, for those of you that hung in there, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.